2022, and it's 6:04 PM. If I could have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. So, we're going straight to warrants and bills?
No, we're going to the encumbering. You guys have to vote on what we're encumbering and what we're unencumbering.
So encumbrance and unencumbrance. Make a motion on each item.
So where
Okay.
is encumbered, unencumbered? What is? All right.
And I don't know if you have to make a motion on each item, or if you can just say this is what we're encumbering.
I can just read them all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why are we unencumbering regional animal control if we may owe money in the future?
Well, because they looked at what we had paid for, what we got from the grant, which is the 24,401.55 on the encumbering port.
Uh-huh.
So this is the difference between what we got from the town. Madeline and Jim worked this all out. I just did what I was told.
So after going back and forth, they figured out that's what we,
That's what we got from the grant, was the 23,401.55. And that's on the encumbering, so we're encumbering that.
Because that's what we owe.
And then, so the difference, the 84,000 is what the town put into it.
Of our own money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
so we gotta pay back the 23,000?
23,401.55.
And how are we paying that back?
We have it already sitting there, so we're just encumbering it out of this account number. Because it's 107,
So get it back to the state?
I guess when they ask for it. Meanwhile, it's just sitting there.
What was the Shepherd server? What was that?
I don't know, it was encumbered a couple of years ago. Maybe we thought they needed to buy a server or something. They encumbered it several years ago, and so I'm just putting it back into free cash.
Can we use it?
We can, well, it has to, when you encumber something, it has to be for a particular bill. And it's supposed to go back the next year. But for some reason, last year it didn't go back. So it just sat there.
But since we already, wouldn't we want to just keep that there? Because we are going to need new computer equipment.
Okay, we can do that. That's fine, I don't have any problem with any of it. Okay. So I need to
And then the
then,
town hall windows, what's up with that?
that's after we paid all the bills and everything, we still have that much money left in because they didn't finish installing all the windows.
Where's the windows?
It's on the unencumbered.
Oh. Oh. Yeah.
That's another one where,
This is the money that the town also put in, not from a grant.
right, but the windows aren't finished and we don't know if we're gonna have to finish them. Well, not if we're putting it out to,
RFP.
hmm. Yeah, might as well bring back that money,
Okay.
since,
Well, it pays for the EDA grant then, right?
mm,
On the next
Well,
page.
we already have that money.
and then the CDBG for the Selectmen grant?
Yeah,
What's-
for some reason, that was encumbered a couple of years ago also. And I don't know what it was for or anything, and so I talked to Tammy, and she goes, well, it was encumbered, and then it should have gone back to free cash last year, and for some reason, it didn't, so. The only ones you really need to do are the article ones, which is regional control and the windows, but I put everything on, so she made sure she didn't just hold on to it again.
Does Jim have any more information on these? Or is it-
He has more information on the regional animal control.
Should we wait until he gets back?
So you wanna just go to warrants and bills then?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so,
I wanna make sure, I don't wanna like
Okay.
because there's a lot
start
of,
pulling money out of things we've saved for, and then we need them, and then we gotta go back to the taxpayers and say,
yeah.
now we need another
Well,
5,000
anything that you encumbered that's not
Didn't we give you
encumbered.
that money last year?
Yeah, I know.
Well, anything that you've encumbered that you encumbered that wasn't an article, after your year, it's supposed to go back
Are you gonna admit all?
into.
Are you gonna admit all?
Yeah, everybody's in.
No.
Yeah, that's just a list of who's
Yeah.
in the meeting.
Alright. Alright, so we'll just move on, we'll table that for now until Jim gets back. He's right now in a FinCom meeting, so we'll go to warrants and bills.
All right, I'll make a motion to pay the following warrants for FY '22, number 110, vendor, $79,277.72. For FY '23, number 4, payroll, $62,831.83. FY '23, number 5, vendor, $59,909.96.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
very sorry.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
Make a motion to pay the following bills for FY '22. Karen Dusty for Key, $14. KP Law, $1,027.73. Warren Water District, $155.95. Whitco Sales, $799.99. Comcast Business, $138.35. Stericycle Shred It, $476.04. Crystal Rock, $15.87. Whitco, $1,075. Jim Dusty, wood for the town admin office, $67.27.
Second,
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
How did we, so Shred It, was
Those
this-
are our monthly bills that didn't get paid because I've been fighting them about charging us for 4 containers and not 2. So we finally sat down and figured it all out, and that's how much we owe for the year of our monthly shredded bills.
Okay, and what happened with the day of shredding?
The day of shredding, they gave us $253 and something cents off, but then they charged us fuel charge and bits of everything, so it ends up being $1,000, not $900.
That's excellent.
What's the Whitco sales?
That is the air conditioning for the Veterans Office right here, because it didn't work anymore, so we put one in there. That is the 220 AC unit in Jim Ferrara's office, and the other unit is in the maintenance and animal control office.
So that's for 3 ACs.
The $799 is for Jim's, and the $1,075 is for the other 2.
So
Okay.
veteran, what was the veteran and what else?
Animal control and maintenance office.
Jim's got a 220 AC?
He does. That's what it was wired, that's what it was plugged into. It would have cost us more if we would have had somebody come in and rewire.
Jeez.
I mean, it's a big.
Turn his
room.
office to a Icebox.
It
Yeah, I
does,
know.
it
Meat
is an
locker.
icebox.
I mean, it's a little bigger than this room maybe, and this is fine, right? This is a 120.
But I guess the power right there was 220. So,
The wire in the outlet was already at 220.
yeah, the wire outlet was already at 220, and that's what was in there.
Okay, but you don't have to buy a 220. All right, well,
You do
whatever.
to plug it in,
I know,
if
but
you're gonna plug into that outlet.
That was
Unless
the
you
only
ran
outlet on that
extension
whole wall.
cords.
okay.
Of course, there's no outlets in this building. We had the, you know, get
So
outlets put in here.
The bill for the two, for the veterans and the other one came out of the 50,000 that we have from last year.
Okay.
And the wood for the town admin's office also came out of that 50,000.
Hmm.
All right, I think Derek seconded, right?
I did.
Yes.
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
All right, I'll make a motion to pay the following bills for FY '23. Comcast Business, $138.35. Chubb, $22,687. Mia Property and Casualty Group, $95,113. Mia Workers Comp, $17,630.
I have a question. Who's Chubb?
Chubb is the insurance company that handles the special insurance for the police and fire.
Okay, so it's an additional insurance.
Yeah, it's a specialty insurance for casualties.
Okay.
I need a second.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay. So minutes, no minutes. New business. We can do the police report for June. Come on up, chief. Well, might as well take Jim's seat. Note identified.
So in June, we had 1,429 calls logged of service, 6 felonies investigated, 71 incident reports, 9 on-view arrests, 1 warrant arrest, 18 summon arrests, with a total of 28 total arrests, 7 protective custodies, 7 juvenile arrests, 232 motor vehicle stops, and 71 citations. Again, we had another Governor's Highway Safety Grant, so we had extra patrols out there for mainly just traffic stops. And then last month, Chief Lavoy and I, we attended the high school graduation on the 4th. All of the my department, we conducted our CPR first aid for the year. We also completed our firearms calls. I attended 2 classes that were offered by our insurance carrier, Maya. And by me taking these classes, we get a little bit off our bill, I guess.
Very good.
So, one was on preventing discrimination and harassment in the workplace, and the other one was a legal update and liability course. They're free courses, and they're very good, actually. So if it helps the town out and I go take a course, and it's free, it works for me.
Absolutely.
On the 13th, we conducted our last drill, our safety lockdown with the school system. We did all 3 in the district. We did Quabog, Warren Elementary, and West Brookfield Elementary. I want to thank West Brookfield PD, the state police also came with us. Warren Fire is always with us. They always help us out in conducting these drills. I think we already spoke about that. Each school passed. No doors were left open. Teachers did what they're supposed to do. As soon as they hear it, they come out, they check the halls, make sure no one's roaming. If there's a student there, they take them into their classroom. They all did what they were supposed to. at the end of the month. We talked about this too, we attended that 3-day active shooter training class, very good class that we learned a lot. And grant-wise, let's see. Oh, I was advised by the state that we were accepted to get a new portable rep test machine. So I'm just waiting for them to, OAT, to get in touch with me. They're gonna let me know when I can go pick it up.
Very
Don't
good.
pay for anything, they get the equipment, when it's there, they call me, I go pick it up, and we got a brand new piece of equipment at no cost to us.
Very good.
Excellent.
They're not really very expensive, are they?
They're about $1,000.
Okay.
Fire Department, Adam Boy, Fire Chief. Fire Department responded to 34 fire incidents in June. They ranged from activated alarms, motor vehicle accidents, medical assists, structure fires, cooking fires, illegal burns, investigations, power line incidents, rescues or extrications. These are kind of calls that are outside the box a little bit. Mutual aid, sometimes we get canceled en route if it ends up being a false alarm, and then we conducted a couple of detail or service calls. We responded to 66 ambulance calls in June. 11 ALS intercepts were required for those calls. We conducted the following smoke and CO, 8 smoke and CO calls. Those particular inspections are done when anytime there's a sale or transfer of property. We're required to go in and make sure that that property is up to code for the next owners coming into it. That's why we do those, and we're required by law to do that. We did 3 propane tanks and 3 oil burning equipment. That can be a new heater, a new oil tank, and then obviously propane tanks can range in size from small 20 gallons all the way up to 500 or even up to 1,000 gallons, depending on which one we're and what the use is for that. Some of the activities and meetings, we did some driver operator stuff with for the fire department and truck equipment with the firefighters. We held kind of a neat training with the ambulance. We have some new airway kits we have now been approved to use through our medical director, and our medical director, Dr. Ken Knowles, who is a emergency room physician, actually came out and taught the class for us. He's a great instructor anyway, he's had about many times, but it's actually a requirement by the state that if you're gonna run this particular program, your medical director has to be the instructor for the initial program. This allows us to do some more advanced airways in the events of cardiac arrest and stuff that will, give the patient an even better chance of survival, to make sure we can oxygenate them and ventilate them, in a more appropriate fashion in an emergency. So that was neat. So we're working on that. Those are just now getting onto the truck for calls going on in the future. So that's a great thing. We did attend, as Chief Millett mentioned, we did the active shooter class, or the active threat class, excuse me, in Leominster, which was fantastic, as we talked about at the last training. And we hope to bring a lot of that stuff back, as we talked about. We just started working on our Go Kits. We've been upgrading our Go Kits in the last couple weeks, so we actually, because the new fiscal year has rolled around, we bought some stuff. I know we were gonna be talking with the town and Jim and the board to maybe put some ARPA money towards that, but we're already got a head start on those kits, so that we can incorporate them into our new ambulance that's coming probably mid-August or late the end of August. So we're gonna hope to get those kits on board so that we can do that. Once we have a new superintendent here, we're gonna be working with the schools a lot to make sure that these things continue to roll out and we continue to head in that right direction. We're just waiting to find out who that person is and who the new contact's gonna be, and also who the new police chief is gonna be in West Brookfield. So we're kinda waiting on don't panic. West Brookfield.
You led that with new police chief's gonna be.
No, but I mean, in all seriousness, Chief O'Donnell was a huge part of what we've been doing for years now. So I mean, him, I'm very happy he retired. We both are, but not having him in the loop and everything, we just want to make sure that whoever comes into that, we incorporate everything, and that person is caught up to speed as quickly as possible, so that we can continue doing what we're doing. Last meeting, we did talk about the one issue with the budget. That was the fuel tank leak in the ambulance. That is still in the process of being resolved. I just met with the finance committee a minute ago for the financial side of things, but we're going in the right direction. That should be in this week, so we should have it prepared, and that way we'll be on schedule for the trade-in for the end of August. So should be good to go.
Okay. All right. Chief, any idea what's going on with your kits?
Yes. So I have the ones that we're looking at, and actually I'm meeting Paul Sugin, one of my part-timers, who also runs our first aid and CPR. him and I are gonna go through the ones that I picked and what he thinks would be the best ones to go with. Just where we're gonna wear them and stuff when we go in, stuff.
For active shooter stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, their kits are different than ours, they're smaller, they're usually on the
Right.
leg,
Yeah.
they're not the full backpacks like we have, so they kinda have to cut down on what they have a little bit, as you
Yeah.
know.
Alright. You're looking at basically like
The
a,
prices, the range is ridiculous.
well,
it could be
everybody has a
$100 to
different
500.
opinion of
It's-
what should be in them.
Right, there's some kits, some of them are $100 and the same stuff's in another kit that's $400.
Yeah.
You kinda,
Yep. Yep.
Same type of equipment, same everything, same brand, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Alright, just, again, let us know what you need to get those. Definitely like to have you guys all set up for the start of school year and preferably trained with the guys for them, for that start. You know, just because the guys have them in the vehicle doesn't mean they'll grab them if they ever run out of the
Or know what to
vehicle,
do with 'em.
or even remember them or know what to do with them, so.
We can incorporate, we have what's called our, where every 2 years, everyone has to recertify their EMT, but we have to have a very specific class that's a 40-hour class that touches on a whole bunch of different things, and we are planning on doing that class in December, and that is when we tackle the tourniquets, wound packing, all that stuff for the EMTs, but that instructor that we have, I think we can get together and maybe we can do, I know Paul can, but we can work together to make sure some of that, the tourniquet stuff, the wound packing, that kind of stuff, we can do jointly together, so.
I wanna look at sending Paul too to do the Stop the Bleed, because that's something he can bring back to the town, bring back to the schools, and.
Yeah, if you can,
We talked about doing that here.
if you need to get guys training for specific things to help train our guys, or even become a regional person to train, I think we're in support of that. Because it only helps us and keeps us better prepared and equipped to do that. And the good thing about having an instructor on staff is he's always checking the guys to make sure that they know what they need to be doing. Not like, being a jerk about it, but it's like, where's your active shooter kit?
He's great, because once a week when he comes in, he checks all the medical bags in the cruisers.
Okay.
Make sure if anyone uses everything, he puts it back in. We go to FD for our oxygen and stuff too, so Paul makes sure so it only makes sense that he has all of that type of that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime they use stuff on a call, we have them come over, we restock what they've used.
The other thing is, you guys have already been through the training there, the Stop the Threat training. You might want to cycle your guys through too,
Yeah,
and get them through.
That's a fantastic class that I think, honestly, I think, the
Something nice to
full-time
put in here.
staff, especially that's here on a regular basis, would really benefit from a class like that. So I think, getting as many people through that class, I'm surprised it's not a mandatory class. I think it will be at some point, I think coming forward, it'll be incorporated into the fire and police academies at some point, because it really just makes sense to do that, to be honest.
What is that, like a de-escalation kind of thing, or?
No,
That's the
it's,
active shooter
it's,
training.
it's an integration between police and fire for their response to an incident like that.
Okay.
Like, setting up hot zones, warm zones, that kind of stuff. It's a direct threat class that teaches what police are gonna do and what fire's gonna do.
That was the 3-day
That was the
thing?
3-day course.
Oh, I
yes.
see, okay.
That was the 3-day
Alright.
course.
And that'd be great to have other people trained in that, because again, having you guys train in it, awesome. But you guys gotta take days off once in a while too.
Yeah.
You're gonna be on vacation. Who's the next guy in line? Who's after him?
It'd be great, like you're saying.
Who's on
train with
shift?
The surrounding towns too, because they're the ones that be, if it's during the day, they're the ones coming to help us.
And maybe we can get them to come out our way. Talk to them, maybe there's some way that they'll do a training, and we could set up like a regional thing where invite other towns and, broadcast it and stuff, and, see if anybody else wants to do it. Keep the cost down.
Mm.
Because if you get so many people,
Yeah.
cost per student's generally cheaper, right?
I don't know how the people we did it for.
Or was it purely grant?
Yeah, it was
fund-
free, it was free for us, I mean, it was.
So it was
done-
grant?
Yeah, I think
driven?
it was a grant class. I'll have to check with the person that, you know, I was talking to on that, but it was taught through the Louisiana State University. It was actually sponsored through them, and it was their program, but Leominster brought it in through the Homeland Security. So I'm assuming it was a grant-funded class through Homeland.
Okay. So, yeah, well, thank you very much, guys. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
All right, well, thank you very much, and you guys gotta stick around for
Oh, yeah.
new information and all that, right? All right, so let's go back to the beginning then, and get rid of all these other things that we got built up for waiting for Jim here.
Apologize, Mr. Chairman.
Did you get everything?
We got it passed.
All right, very good. Thank you for fighting for us. All right, so we're doing line item transfers. And we're good for everything, so we can do these, correct?
Correct. So the Finance Committee met upstairs just about 20 minutes ago, Mr. Chairman, and they approved all the requests that are before you this evening.
All right.
And this particular request, the $60,000 and this $10,000 request will be a total of $70,000. That will be going into the Selectmen matching grant, and that will cover the town's portion of the EDA, freeing up the ARPA funds for the town.
Okay, and EDA is Economic Development
Administration.
Administration, and ARPA is the American Recovery Plan Act, right? Yes,
I think so.
yeah. Just again, when we use the acronyms there, we want to make sure everybody knows what they are.
Mhm.
Okay.
Motion for each of these, separate motion, right?
Right.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to transfer from health insurance to Selectmen matching grant, $60,000 for Economic Development Administration grant.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
Make a motion to do the following line item transfer from retiree medical to Selectmen matching grant, $10,000 for the Economic Development Administration grant.
Second.
All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
All right, I'll make a motion to transfer from Shepherd copier / printer lease to Shepherd purchase services, $1,000 for a bill that needed to be paid.
Second.
All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. All right. The next thing we had was the schools, as far as what's happening over there, and we got no information, right?
So Mr. Schwenker emailed me back last week, and he indicated that he has been out of town on a vacation and then subsequently had a business trip. So he will be contacting me as soon as he returns, he says.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Can I ask the forensic audit? How is that triggered, or what's the process to do that, and how does the, you know?
So, we would contact the state auditor's office
Okay,
and see if Suzanne Bump would be, eligible to do something like that for the town, if the town wanted to proceed with that. Simply like, saying, the Board of Selectmen may want to take a vote or have something in writing requesting that the state auditor's office come in and do a financial audit of the regional school district. It may make it stronger, since it's a regional school district, to also have the West Brookfield Board of Selectmen as well, take a position on it as well, or ask them to see if they would take a position.
Okay. And I think we should probably see if we could set up a joint meeting with them at some time
Sure.
to be able to, discuss this. Because again, I think we all have a little bit of a concern or a lot of concern about the money over there and where it's being spent and how it's being spent. And it's just a lot of flags that are shooting up that I'd like to get answered. And I wanna make sure everybody's doing everything right with the townspeople's money.
Nope.
So,
If you want, I can reach out to the selectmen out there, or,
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
you good with that? Yeah. So, yeah, reach out to West Brookfield and, let them know we have concerns, what's going on with the budget. And, I know they've expressed concerns in the past too, and, as long as we're on the same page, and we'll set up a vote and, let the schools know that, hey, we're doing this. When you don't talk to us and we're not getting answers and things aren't adding up to us, we're gonna look into it deeper.
Yeah.
We have a responsibility to residents to do that.
Not only would the auditor, do a financial, but, they would also look at, the structure, policies that are put in place. So it would kind of give you, some type of gauge as to how structurally sound the institution is. How it's running smoothly. They do get in detail. Especially, now would probably be a good time, because I don't know. I don't think that they have a superintendent at the moment.
I don't know. I haven't heard
There
anything.
hasn't been
Yeah.
really enough time to do
I
it.
think we all know the same in here, and that's pretty much nothing right now.
Right,
Nobody's talking to us,
right.
so.
I think now would be the time to do it before
Before somebody else gets
Yeah,
in.
because
And you may want to have that, so that could be like, almost like a roadmap for that person too.
Exactly, yeah.
Gives them the guidance.
Yeah.
Welcome to Quabog, here's your marching orders.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, definitely reach out to West Brookfield, let us know, and if we have to do a joint meeting, I'd love to have a joint meeting with West Brookfield again.
Sure.
If we need to compromise with them and set a different day or whatever we need to do, let us know. And if they can come out to here, that would be great, or,
Yeah, invite them to this meeting if they want.
Okay.
let them know.
All right. Very good.
All right, so the encumbrances and unencumbering. I think that's where we left off, where we
So
were
we
having
started to
some
look at this and
questions.
then had a lot of questions, so it was just better to wait.
Okay. So the Economic Development Administration grant. I think we're all good with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're good with the 70,000 on that. We know we have to do that. Legal for Merrick O'Connell for KP Law. Any questions about that?
Nope.
Dirk?
No, sir.
The G&B old bill for furnace.
Yeah, what's up with these?
So these were from the furnace that were in the police station. That's in the police station. The furnace was replaced in May of 2020, and it was done by B&G Mechanical out of Chicopee, and it was reported to B&G at around the time of November of 2021 that it was tripping. It wouldn't stay on. The boiler wouldn't stay on. And so B&G Mechanical came out here a few times in 2021, sometimes in December, sometimes in February, a time in March, a time in April. And during that time period, they replaced parts. They had a representative monitor the boiler because it was tripping at certain times. It was an intermittent problem that was reported to B&G that most of the time B&G couldn't duplicate. And because of that, they started to change different parts on this thing. and to try to make some modifications to it in hope that it would correct the problem. This particular boiler only had a 1-year warranty when it was purchased. So it was purchased in May of 2020 and only has 1-year warranty.
Holy crap.
So I was surprised by that myself, and according to B&G, that is a standard on these boilers. And I went back and forth with B&G. Jim, Dusty went back and forth with B&G. Jim was working on this for some time, and Jim was getting frustrated. I was getting frustrated with some of the responses that I got from B&G, to be honest with you. And ultimately, B&G wanted $10,000 for that time period for when it was reported in November of 2021 to now. They wanted $10,000. We were able today to get it down to $5,032 to pay out. The money is available to pay. B&G has a service contract with the town, or has had it for some time. As part of the negotiated decrease in price for these bills, I also indicated to them that I want them to start up the boiler for this season in the fall and to monitor it, the first startup, and if there's any issues of it ticking off or kicking off, they are to fix it at no cost to the town. We have an email with regards to that. Karen has it. And so B&G in turn also asked the town not to start up the boiler, that when it is the season, that we call B&G directly, set up the initial startup, and let them handle it, and then they will take the responsibility of starting it up. And if it's not working correctly, they will fix it again at no cost. And then we will continue on with the maintenance, the contract that we are in. We can certainly, when this contract expires, look for a different vendor. But at this time, this would be the best option for the town, that I feel.
Okay. How much did the boiler cost?
It was over $50,000, about $55,000.
So we would have
60,000.
spent a fifth of that already in just maintenance, right?
Well, in somewhat
The
of
$10,000
repairs, yeah.
You can spend 50 grand on a boiler and only get 1 year guarantee.
Imagine that.
That's good. That's
Well, forget the warranty, it's $50,000, it should last at least 5 years.
Well, the industry standard is like 20 to 30 years.
That's
Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
Yeah.
You buy one for your home, you expect 20 years out of it, right?
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, this is a commercial boiler, you know?
Yeah.
It should be a lot more beefier and
Yeah.
more, it lasts a bit longer.
Mhm.
Who did we buy the boiler from?
Well, it was from B&G.
Oh, interesting.
Well, they didn't make it. I mean, they got it.
Yeah.
They sell them
Yeah.
and they install
Okay. Well, hopefully we don't get any more problems beyond this.
them. So I would ask that, make sure that when its season comes up, just let me know, and I'll call this. I got this guy's number again. That we'll have him start it up in no cost and make sure he monitors it, and if it's kicking off, he's going to be held responsible to fix it at no cost.
Okay, yeah.
Do you have any more questions?
No?
No, sir.
Okay. So National Grid,
It's a bill that hasn't come in yet.
It hasn't come in yet?
It should come in any day, but it has not come in yet. So that's all of the utility bills. Then 3 National Grid and then the Verizon all have not come in yet.
Okay.
And then the 110 for Shred-it, that's the difference between what they say we owe and what I say we owe. So I encumbered it just in case they fought me on it.
Okay. You guys have any questions on any of those?
Do we have a contract with Shred It?
We do,
How many years?
just one.
All right, we should probably revisit that, right? It doesn't sound like,
Well, they finally got their act together, but they haven't given us the credit back from the 4 months that they charged us double. She says that I called them again and basically was not nice, and they said that, well, it takes 2 cycles, and I said, well, that's great. I called you in December, two cycles or 6 months.
whichever's longer.
Yeah, really. So she said that she'd look into it, and then I did get an email back, that said that they were looking into it, so we'll see.
Okay.
Just tell them that before they shred it, get it.
Yeah, don't
You know-
shred the bills.
Really.
All right, any other questions?
No,
Derek?
No, sir?
And regional animal control. That was a question we had with that one. Where do we stand with that?
So the regional animal control, I had reached out, and I think I mentioned this to the board at some point. I reached out to my counterpart for the town of Palmer, Ryan McNutt, and he is the town manager out there. He was leading the project for, or Palmer is the lead for the regional animal control facility. And I just received a letter. I asked him to let us know if Warren has any outstanding bills associated with that project. And I got an email from him today. He checked his staff. He also checked with the Pioneerville Planning Commission that was involved in the project. Warren doesn't know anything. So whatever that the encumbrance that has been on the general ledger can be released, and the 23,401.55 would have to go back into the receipts reserve account.
Okay.
what does that mean?
That's
That's what we owe, because we didn't go through with it, right?
no, you don't.
We're getting back, put into our general funds.
Right, so the balance would go into would go into free cash, and then the other portion would go back into, there was a portion of it that I checked with her, that was checked with the accounting office on receipts reserves.
Okay. Any
That's
other
why,
questions?
on the unencumbered part, there's the 84,000, which will go back into free cash.
Okay. Any more questions about that?
No.
No, sir.
Okay. Article 11, FY 22 for fixing municipal offices. The 50,000?
That was the one that we got voted on at the special town meeting for the 50,000 to pick it up. If we don't encumber it, it will go back to free cash.
Okay.
So I've just encumbered the whole thing so that we can do what we said we were going to do.
Okay. All right. You guys have any questions about that?
Nope.
Nope.
All right, we want to do a vote on these? On
You
the,
want to go through the unencumbered? Or just-
well, do we want to do the encumbered first and get those out of the way, and then we'll
Sure.
go on to unencumbered?
Jim, do each of these need a separate motion?
You could, I mean, if you want to just read them out, you
Yeah.
can, yeah.
All right, so I'll make a motion to encumber the following funds. Economic Development Administration grant for 70,000. Legal bills for $10,950.52. 2 for B&G for the old furnace, which is $3,102.30, and $1,930.70. National Grid for $535.18, $300 and $253. Verizon for $15. Shred It for $110.96. Regional Animal Control for $23,401.55. And the Fund for Fixing Municipal Offices for $50,000.
Second?
All in favor?
Rich Ihacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay. The unencumbered funds. We have the Shepherd Building server, and that's for $5,646.39. And that's money we already have reserved for this. And we're looking at taking it out of there and just putting it back into free cash.
Because that's what's supposed to happen, as I understood it from the accounting office, you encumber it for 1 year, and then it has to go back into free cash. It isn't something that can just sit there.
You release the encumbrance.
So we can't keep it.
I mean, you know,
Well, it's supposed to be encumbered for a particular bill, that's how you do it.
right. So I mean, are you anticipating a bill for this amount, or?
Not a bill, but eventually we'll have to replace, the,
Yeah, so
IT
you
equipment.
would do that through like, whatever free cash is available at the time.
You know,
So-
we'd have to do something for that room because in that room it gets very, very hot,
yeah.
and this equipment should be kept cool. So we gotta get some sort of air conditioning unit or something like that in the room, or bring it upstairs. We were looking at bringing it upstairs up into the cable room and putting it there inside of a cabinet.
There's already a cabinet up there, it was like an old
Mhm.
locker
Yeah.
or something, it'd be perfect if they're
But we gotta put it somewhere where it's air conditioned,
Mhm.
so we don't burn this thing out.
And then there was a grant that had some money for IT stuff.
Yeah.
So we might be able
Yeah.
to do all that with that.
The one that Derek had sent over?
I don't remember,
Okay.
it was only like 2 or 3 weeks ago maybe.
Yeah, all right.
Which one you're talking about?
The computer IT grants you sent me?
You can use those for that.
Yeah,
I send it to you, that one, if we wanted to buy tablets.
Tablets,
For
yeah.
everything, but I'm sure you can
use
use
it
it
for
for also
also.
that too. It's all for IT for municipalities.
Mhm.
How much is it for again?
It varies.
It varies,
From
yeah.
$250 up to $6,000
Yeah.
or something like that.
Mm.
That's what we use on the school and for the tablets, and we use it for in other places for other stuff like Town Alert and things like those.
Okay. All right, so we get that. So do we have any questions about that one?
I don't,
No, sir.
All right, the town hall windows. Yeah, that's one of those things, we stopped the windows from being completed because again, there were concerns with the building and the poison ivy on the side of the building and, many other issues along with that. The guys were getting concerned about how brittle the windows were and the sills and stuff. And we stopped that project to prevent them from going forward because we realized after going through and inspecting the building, we found significant other concerns beyond some windows. And it didn't make sense putting in brand new windows into a building that we had concern whether it'd be able to stand much longer. And that's what triggered us to bring in all the specialists, the engineer and the environmental specialists to evaluate what materials were in the building that could be hazardous. And so the windows were stopped at that point. And since we're going into the RFP process,
Mhm.
since we're doing an RFP and the town approved that, it makes no sense in us investing in the windows any further at the town's expense if we're looking at handing over the building to a private party. So that's my background on it. Did you have anything else on it?
I think it's a smart move, Mr. Chairman. It will allow the town to have a little more flexibility. This will go into free cash, so.
So we're basically saving $78,864.13 by not completing it right now, and that goes back to the town. and it's not a loss to us. Good?
Yeah, I'm just gonna, everything we're doing right now is FY '22,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Any questions about that one, Derek?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, Selectmen CDBG grant was $6,500, and I'm sorry, we get lots of grants now. It's hard to keep track of them all,
Well-
between you guys and everything that everybody's getting now.
This grant was actually, it was encumbered last year, so it should have gone back. It has to go back in to free cash. Because once again, it was encumbered for a particular purpose, and then they did not use it for that particular purpose.
Okay. Alright, so easy enough. Any questions?
No.
Derek?
No, sir.
Okay, Selectmen purchase services encumbered, $399.
That was encumbered for a particular bill that didn't come through. So I encumbered it last year, so it has to go back.
Okay. You good with that?
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Okay. 980, I think that's supposed to be Main Street,
Yeah,
improvement
sorry.
purchases.
What's
In the amount of $5,489.79.
No clue. It was there all last year, all this year. I have no clue what that is.
Where's 980 Main Street?
I don't know.
That's the parking lot across from me.
Also, maybe they thought there were more bills coming in and they encumbered it.
Yeah, it's probably for the work that was done across there, with the signs and everything like that. That was where that was located.
Maybe it came in less than they thought, right?
Could have,
Yeah,
yeah.
must
My guess
have.
is they were
Yeah,
anticipating
'cause this
something
is
that
what
they
was
didn't
left
even
in
have
the-
done, but that's what the project.
Did that get
where it
paved?
would've been. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lines, does it have lines?
It has lines, and they added a sign. There's a
Yeah.
sign there, I think some flower boxes or something, but
Right.
my guess is it probably had to do with, yeah, they talked about a fence, they never had a fence put up, but it must have been related to that project.
Why would you put a fence up?
I don't know, they had
I
talked
thought it was
about
talk
that.
between the parking lot and the water department.
Yeah, it must have been something left over they didn't end up
Yeah.
doing.
I remember something about that they wanted to put a fence there, but then the water department has 2 parking spots that they technically own. So the fence would look really stupid jagging around, so they,
They were afraid of traffic cutting through the water department constantly. That was what they were afraid of, so they're talking about having a fence there dividing the 2 properties.
Is that happening?
No, they
Cutting
have
grass?
actually, if you look at it now, they have barriers there. They actually
Yeah,
have some,
okay.
yeah, they have some barrels and some lines across it. You can't drive into that, but, I mean, I think that was the intention, was to put a fence there, but it's just, right now, it's a temporary thing there.
Okay.
Alright. I'm good. You have any questions about it?
No.
Okay, regional animal control for 84,000. So, what's the deal with this one?
So this would be the balance that is left in the regional animal control article for the creation of that animal control part of the participation with Palmer. We don't have any obligation with Palmer anymore. We don't have any bills associated with that regional animal control. So this money can go back into free cash.
And we're getting an email from them verifying that, saying we don't owe anything.
Right here from the town manager.
Very good.
Good.
Because I don't want them coming around line later on and saying, oh, by the way, I forget about this. Well,
However, I did talk to Ryan about, possibly their regional animal control center is not open yet. It's gonna be in Munson. They're still doing the build out and stuff, and at the time, once they're finished, I asked Ryan if maybe myself and Tammy from animal control can go over there and maybe talk about getting, maybe renting a couple spaces
Sure.
for use. I know she has a challenge every year to try to find housing for some animals over the weekend or something like that. So, you know, that may, and he's open to us maybe just doing like a side agreement of something like that. So
Yeah.
it may be of help for the town.
Okay. Because I know the place in town here last year had filled up,
Mhm.
so she was having a problem trying to board
Boy,
it.
she got a significant amount of calls all of a sudden. It seemed like after COVID started going away, everybody started dumping their dogs, things were happening. She was getting dogs wandering all over the place and abandoned dogs, and people just dropped dogs off. I think some people dropped them off at the police station, saying, "Oh yeah, I found this dog on the road," and it was actually their dog that they own, and they claimed that they found it, so.
It's really bad.
Well, they didn't want to pay like fees to get it adopted out, and one of the things that they do. But, you know, they got microchips and you scan them and it comes back to the same person that dropped it off. Yeah. So, all right, so I'm good with that. Any more questions?
No.
No, sir.
Is it really hot in here?
Yeah.
It's bad when you're saying it's hot in here.
It is bad when I say it's on there.
Maybe I could crack a window or something, or?
Yeah, something.
Several windows.
Let's go up to Jim's office.
Put some rocks. Yeah, Jim's got an
He's
ice
got the
block.
220 up there.
Next meeting?
We could put some rocks over there and dump some water on it and have a steam bath in
We
here.
could turn my AC on and close that door, maybe that would help in here.
Yeah, why don't we, yeah.
Go do that.
No, we're just gonna make noise.
All right.
All right, so I'll make, are we ready for my motion?
I am.
Okay. I'll make a motion to unencumber the following funds. Shepherd server, $5,646.39. Town hall windows, $78,864.13. Selectmen CDBG grant, $6,500. Selectmen purchase services encumbered, $399. 980 Main Street improvement purchases, $5,489.79. Regional animal control, $84,000.
Second?
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay. Moving on. Streetlight maintenance contract. We're still having that reviewed by legal.
Yes.
So we're gonna table that till next meeting.
It may be a little bit longer than that, so it may have to
So
go.
we'll
in-
table that to a future meeting.
Yes.
All right, mutual aid agreement between the town of Millbury, Mass, and the town of Warren. Now, this is a mutual aid agreement to borrow a fire engine for, how long, chief?
Right now, it's an open amount of time at the moment while we.
Okay. And the reason we have a need for this agreement to borrow the fire engine is because our fire engine was involved in a accident and it impacted a tree, and right now it's being evaluated by the insurance company to see if it would be totaled out or if we can save it or what needs to be done. But right now, the town is down a fire engine till we can get either a replacement for it or get it fixed. Correct, chief?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you have anything to add?
Just a colleague of mine reached out, I had put a message out to the Fire District 7 asking if anyone had any surplus vehicles that would fit our use, and one of my colleagues from Sutton, the fire chief in Sutton, was gracious enough to volunteer one of his spare unit that should work fine for our needs. We're just trying to cover all liability and do everything we need to do on our end to make sure that agreement is correct and initiated the right way, and that there's full coverage on the vehicle. So we hope to get the vehicle sometime next week and put it into service.
Okay, back up for a minute.
Yes.
You said Sutton?
Oh, did I say Sutton? I'm sorry, Millbury, my bad.
Yeah,
okay,
Millbury.
that was-
I'm sorry.
All right.
I was thinking, I'm sorry, my apologies, Millbury, yes, correct.
All right,
Millbury.
I'm like,
I
we
was
got the
thinking
right
of
town that
I
we're
sent a
agreeing
message
to?
to the district chairman who's in Sutton, my
All
apologies.
right.
Yes, Millbury.
So it's with
The town of
Millbury.
Millbury, correct, yes, my
Okay.
apologies.
All right. Do you have any questions? Do you have anything to add, Jim?
No, Mr. Chairman, this is a pretty standard mutual aid intermunicipal agreement between communities. You know, I did contact legal. They didn't have anything specific. They had a document that was, you know, for a purchase of a vehicle. So I had to create this document and try to, you know, tailor it to both communities. What you have before you is that document. It is signed by the town manager, Sean Hendricks. I had a great conversation with him the last couple days and thanked him and the town for their cooperation in working together. So he had asked that if the board review this tonight and they sign off on it, that I can give him a copy of this agreement, and then that will be cleared enough for him to proceed. You also notice in your packet there's a certificate of insurance that was obtained by the chief through Maya for this particular transaction. So basically, this agreement would codify us having the use of the vehicle on a temporary basis. We would be responsible for the care, custody, and control of the vehicle. We would be responsible of any maintenance or any damage to the vehicle should that incur, and obviously gassing it and maintaining it. This agreement could be terminated at any time by either party. Doesn't have a set time period. It does sound to me, from having the conversation from the town manager in Millbury, that this is in use, but is not required for them at this time. They have enough coverage for what they have. So they're you know, this is an in-service vehicle. It's not a surplus vehicle. So this is an in-service vehicle that they have, that they would be willing to loan, that they feel as though that they have plenty of coverage with the other product, the other pieces of equipment that they have.
Okay. Now, as far as the decals on them, it's gonna remain Millbury?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what I'll more than likely do is I'm just gonna have a temporary magnetic, you know, just put over Millbury, it'll say Warren on it, and I'll straighten that out with them, but that's normally what'll happen if somebody, you know, it'll just be a small change in that, just so people aren't confused by it, but, you know, we'll run.
As I say, if people start seeing Millbury roll up.
Yeah,
on-
no, I mean, we'll deal with that, that's a small cosmetic thing, you know, obviously, but I have a person that can do the, you know, that did the same lettering on the cruiser recently, they can do a magnetic decal that we can just put over Millbury and it'll say Warren on it, so, yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll just, you know, just to keep it, you know, the confusion down on it, but it's a very similar truck in size to our Engine 3, so it should fit fine in the station. You know, you got to be very careful. I mean, this is not an uncommon thing. You know, these things unfortunately happen, but you know, other towns, you know, do lend equipment sometimes. You just have to find the one that's going to fit correctly into the, you know, some people have 12-foot doors. You know, some people have 10-foot doors. So it depends on what vehicle can fit into the station. But this vehicle should serve fine for that usage.
Okay.
Any questions?
Was there any equipment that came with this that we need to
So the only equipment
make note of?
Yeah, they refer to it as their surplus vehicle. It is, like, as Jim said, it is 100% in service. It's not like it was out of service and they put it back in. It's 100% maintenance. It's been a maintenance of the regular fleet. They were using it as what they call the hose wagon, which they only used it to run fire hose around if they needed it for extra stuff. So they were gracious enough to take their hose off so we could put our hose on, because they use a different type of hose and a different fittings for that. So, so we just need to basically get the truck and to put our equipment on it and put it in service. So there's no major equipment that is involved that we'd have to be responsible for anything other than the truck.
Okay, all right.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Any-
No questions?
no? Do you have anything to add?
Nope, nope, no, that's it.
Anything to add?
I know.
Just a big thank you to Millbury, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is huge for us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, we had a couple communities that did reach
Appreciate
out,
this.
and this one here seemed to fit the best in terms of what we were looking to use it for.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of trust. that they're
Yeah,
giving
no, I
us
mean,
a
you
fire
know, we
engine.
have a very tight fire district in our community with the
Yeah.
over 20 communities that we have, including Worcester, that's in our district. So, you know, we have a good rapport with everybody, and we kind of all known each other for many years, so it's nice. When you need something, a lot of them are only a phone call away, so.
I have to say, it's quite amazing that within not even a week of it
Yeah.
being involved, and you already got a replacement truck to take over for it temporarily for now, but you were able to do that.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me that you're able to do that, and Millbury stepping up and saying, hey, we got something for you, we'll help you guys out.
Yeah,
And,
they don't have to do it. I mean, it's 100%, you know, it's something that they volunteered to do, and they saw the need, and like I said, you know, I mean, maybe one day we'll return the favor to someone else, you know, and that's kind of how these towns operate, and that's a good thing. It's a
Yeah.
good thing.
All right. Do you want me to make a motion?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, I will make a motion to accept the intermunicipal agreement between the town of Warren and the town of Millbury, Massachusetts, for use of their 2000 fire engine, year 2000 fire engine.
Second.
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Very good.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, John. And Jim and Karen for their, Jim spent countless hours on this behind the scenes with me, so thank you very much, Jim.
No problem, chief.
Gotta say, every day, more and more, you become more and more valuable to us.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
I'm gonna stop paying him his weight of gold.
Yeah.
Now then I will incentivize him to gain weight.
No,
I gotta lose weight.
Like, I don't know, I'm getting paid my weight in gold.
I gotta lose weight.
Donuts.
All right, so Highway Secretary FY '23 step increase for minimum step 1, letter from Jeremy. So this is a request from the department head, Highway Department, requesting that an employee be brought up a step. Where did it go? Am I missing it?
It's not, no, it's in there, just hand it to him, so he doesn't have to search for it.
There's an agenda under it, yeah, it's in that section right there, probably.
I'm looking for it.
After the unencumber, encumber. After, oh, there it is.
Oh, there we go. I wasn't doubting you, I was just looking for it.
I know, and this is trying to help.
Okay. All right, so the letter is dated July 13th, 2020 to 22 to the Board of Selectmen, and from Mr. Jeremy Olson, the Warren Highway Surveyor. And he's asking, I would like to ask you promote Shelley Davis, the Highway Secretary, from grade C3, minimum pay rate to step 1 rate for the 2023 fiscal year. Shelley has gone above and beyond her job description to take on more responsibilities and assist the town in future grant applications, job construction preparations, Chapter 90 planning, along with doing an outstanding job with her daily tasks at the Highway Department. Shelley has become an extremely valuable employee to the town of Warren. It is my hope that Shelley remains with the Highway Department to assist us with our continued growth for many more years to come. Okay. So, I know we talked about this before with him in a while past, and it was one of the things when we were looking at upgrading the steps. And we did tell the department heads if they have an employee that is exceeding what they do as a job and doing a really good job, and they would like to have them recognized in a manner, you know, we would review requests for an increase in step. So we put that out to them a while ago that we would do that, and we have the authority to do this. And, you know, I think, you know, knowing Jeremy, the department's been working extremely hard, and they've been doing a really good job throughout the town. They've taken on additional responsibilities with, you know, the Parks Department. You know, I know we've been going to these events at Dean Park, and, you know, the Highway Department's been out there mowing the lawns, cleaning them up, and doing a lot of work out there, along with maintaining our roads and continued stuff. So there's a lot going on with the Highway Department, and they're doing an amazing job. So I think this is a reasonable request, and, you know, I'd be in support of it. So, do you have any questions?
No, I'll just say that I'm in support also. I think not only is Jeremy doing a lot now with Parks and Cemetery, but he's put in a ton of work on these grant programs, and Shelley's like right there with him, so.
Just to give you information, they got the bridge grant.
Yep.
Right.
Is it $100,000?
Yep.
Yeah,
So they got another grant for another $100,000. You know, for towns like us, it's amazing that we're pulling in these grants. And, you know, between fire, police, you know, highway department, everybody's pulling together, you know, and getting these grants, and we're searching for this money to help this community. Because again, we can't make these repairs and get these things done in our community without reaching out and getting them from different sources. And if we don't do it, some other town is gonna get that money.
Yeah.
Somebody else will go for it. And we really need that money. We are not a wealthy community. We're not Wellesley or Newton or West End. We're Warren. You know, we're hardworking people, we're farmers, you know, we're people that go to, you know, work every single day and work their butts off and come home. They just want to relax at home. And we want to have roads that work, and, you know, along with everything else, you know, we expect to have the best we can for our town and our children and our community. And this is a way to do that without increasing the tax rate. Because if we were doing everything right now and getting everything that we're getting, the tax rate would go way up, because there's no way we could afford it. You know, we're looking at grants for, you know, master plans, for economic development, you know, bridge repairs of $100,000, you know, all these things, the grants that you guys are getting for radio systems and stuff. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars that the residents don't have to pay now for everybody doing this. So, you know, when we got a department that's really stepping up, trying to make things happen and seeking these grants, definitely we should reward the people doing the hard work,
Mhm.
getting that done. So, did you have anything there?
I just want to mention, and I just want to add to what you said. We are probably as good as any of the towns you mentioned it. The problem we have is we don't have the same amount of people per square footage. But I believe Warren, we are as good as they are. And the people who work here show that. I saw, talking about helping Jeremy's work. Shirley was there yesterday when Jeremy was doing the tour. Well, she was there. I
Mhm.
saw her. So she's there, she's working, they're working hard, and you know, that's a plus for us. Same for all the other departments, they do an awesome job. Besides that, I'm okay with the step.
Tim, did you have anything?
No, so this is a standard procedure that, as the Board of Selectmen, the Personnel Policy Board members, these types of requests would come before the board, and, a department head would have to put this in writing, and which it is in front of you, and you would just have to act on it.
Make a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion to promote Shelley Davis of the Highway Department from grade C3 minimum pay to step 1.
Second,
All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Very good. All right, we already did warrants and bills, no minutes. We've already done new business. Old business. Okay, do you have any old business?
I don't think so.
No, sir.
Okay, old business, I would say, let's look into, with the ARPA money that we have, one of the problems we're still having is the locking system, the keys and stuff on the buildings, because again, we're kind of losing control of who has keys again, and how many of them are out there. And I think you were telling me doors have been getting left unlocked, your police officers have been finding doors unlocked in the building. So, this is a concern, we need to keep the building secure. One of the things I would ask is if you can send out a memo. If you're the last one in the building, check the doors, make sure they're all locked before you leave. Same thing to boards and stuff. We gotta ensure the building is locked and that there's nobody left in the building. If there's residents roaming around in the building or hanging out in the bathroom, maybe wanna ask them to leave or wait for them to finish and have them leave, and we lock up behind them. Because again, we have stuff in this building, it's protected, and, we have people that are trusted with keys here, and we need to make sure the building stays secure. The other remedy to that is going to the key fob system, which I highly support. We could utilize the ARPA funds to pay for this, so it's not paid by residents, it's not a tax-funded thing. And the key fobs would ensure that the doors lock automatically at a certain time. And individuals would have a key fob, and you could fob in and come into the building and, do your business. It would cut down on the expense on keys and having a locksmith come in and having to rekey a whole building, because all of a sudden we don't know where keys are because this one lost it, this one didn't want to turn it in because an election didn't go their way, and it just, it becomes an issue where we lose keys again and we have to rekey the whole building again to try to get it back under control, which cost a significant amount of money to get all new keys made, put all new key cores put into the locks, and redoing the whole thing again. That was kind of a pain in the butt the first time. I think Karen would agree with that, since she was dealing with a lot of it. And we're probably getting to that point where we have to do that again. I think going to the key fob system would definitely be an asset to have, and I know this was old business, and I'm rehashing it, but I think this is something we should definitely do.
So I sent all the quotes that I had gotten last year to Jim, so he can take a look at. There are 3 good vendors. I mean, there's probably others out there, but that's a good place to start at least, and to give you an idea of cost and who to contact, so.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Chairman, with
Yes, sir.
just because I know there's some other projects that we gotta talk about with ARPA and stuff, but just because of the situation, because it's looking to come from ARPA money, I'm just throwing it out there, would it be worth looking at the other town buildings at the same time? Because I think a lot of us are under the same exact issue. I'm just saying, if it's gonna be ARPA money, maybe having the same vendor come out and do some sort of a quote for the other buildings. I know for it would be great to have an electronic in and out, and we, again, lose that key issue, same thing over and over again, and we rekey every few years. I'm just throwing it out there, maybe.
It costs a lot of money to do that,
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I know. I'm just wondering if it might be worth looking at some of the other buildings for security, at the same time.
I
because
think you're the only one that brought it up, yeah, but I think it's a good idea.
I know I'd love to
I
take
know the
advantage
police
of that.
department already has a key fob system, right?
Yeah.
No, I thought you had one.
No, they don't
Well,
actually.
punch button
They have a
thing.
button
Yeah.
one, yeah. but
Oh.
I know we
Well,
could,
that's- yeah, I mean, that's-
we could really use it for our buildings for security purposes
Yeah.
too, so.
Yeah, if we could look at doing,
All buildings?
the other buildings too. Because again, keys is a physical thing, and the great thing about a key fob, if you have an employee that you sit there and say, okay, I don't want this guy getting back in this building, and, we terminate him at cause, for whatever reason, shut off the key fob. Now they can't get in the building anymore. So,
And it's a couple bucks for a
And
key
it-
fob.
yeah, key fobs are only a couple dollars. We don't have to re-key the whole building, then reissue keys to everybody, again, and making a key is what, $10 per key or something like that? And the last time we had it rekeyed, it was over $900 to
And we only
rekey the
had
building.
35 keys, and now we have over 50 out.
So we get quite a bit of keys.
What, do they multiply in that little box there?
No, I have to keep getting more.
And that's the problem. We got over 50 keys issued to a building that we have,
Well, I think during
what,
COVID.
16
people-
employees in?
Well, I think during COVID, the board said, well, this person needs a key because they need to come in and sign, and this person needs a key because they need to come in, and it got ridiculous, and now trying to get the boards to come back to me is like, no, we have to have those.
Yeah, well,
Okay, so that's the
at some point, we gotta sit there and say, okay, no. And the key fob system would it'd be much more cost efficient for the town. And then we can actually set it up so it automatically locks the doors. So, again, when we get a call, or, whatever, we know the building's locked. It locks at, say, 5 PM when
Or
nobody's
you
here.
could leave it locked all day.
Or you can leave it
Have a
locked
ring.
all day and people can fob in and, people can buzz in. That was another option, saying, hey, we'll have a camera out there and a little speaker, and any visitors come in, go boop, and then call Karen or whoever, or, whatever office they go into, and basically have like an intercom system and say, oh, I wanna go to the assessor's office. Push the button, talk to the assessor, yeah. Can you buzz me in?
Mhm.
And come in. Or just leave it unlocked during certain hours.
Yeah, that seems okay.
But we have to maintain more security in this building than what we have. Again, we have a lot of personal files in the town clerk's office, a lot of financial stuff that's around here too, and, we gotta get a better handle on this. So, And I guess now we're gonna reach out to, you know, the other town buildings, see who needs them. See what it would cost. Maybe we can get a discounted rate by doing more.
Thank you for the consideration.
You good with that?
Well, it's no brainer, sir. Life, security, you know, it's something very common everywhere now. Why shouldn't we not do it?
Yeah, most places have them. I have them at work and,
You know, on the long term, we'll save money. On everyday basis, we'll be safer.
I think that's all I have for old business. Now, the other thing was the levy. The Corps of Engineers came back and asked if we wanted to maintain our routine inspections for the year. And last time when we talked about Corps of Engineers and everything, we sent it out. I know we answered them, because I answered them probably about 2 or 3 months ago, that yes, we want to maintain it after we did that initial annual inspection with them, which identified all the stuff with the levy. And you know, I sent them an email saying, yes, we want to continue services, we want them to still come out as a diagnostic to let us know what we're doing. And I followed that up again with another email saying, yes, we still want to continue these services, because we do find it very valuable to have the Corps come out inspecting the levy to make sure that we're at least making steps to get into compliance with it. So, so I did do that. And I think it's about it. Oh, I got you on, another thing I followed up with is, you're on the website now.
I got the email.
I created the town administrators page too.
Oh, okay, thank
So
you.
you have your own page, you're gonna have to go in there and
Thanks.
customize it and stuff. But you have an account, you can get in, Karen can show you how to do some
Okay.
stuff.
I'll
And
do it
then
next week.
you'll get an email, I believe in the email with the, when you get your password and all that stuff that you got,
Mhm.
that there's a link in there to go to the training too.
Okay,
So there's a training site. You can't get any training on the actual website. You have to go to a separate website to get that training, which is a different thing, which, again, our website is not user-friendly.
You'll get to experience how easy it
Okay,
is to
yeah.
use. Not.
Literally, to create one account, I have to create you in 3 separate places with the same information in 3 separate places to get you to do one page.
wow.
It was easier to create the town administrator page than it is to add somebody.
Wow.
So it's kind of a pain in the butt to do. But you do have that ability, and you have you have administrative rights to the site, you know, for the town administrator part and all that. And I gotta get you site administrator rights, and that, we gotta send an email, because the only person that can give us site manager rights is the actual company. So I'll follow up with an email, so you'll have full administrative rights to the whole site. So you can change anything for anybody and fix stuff. If you're good with that.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So I guess I'm good with old business. Just follow up with a few things there. Do you have anything?
No, sir?
No? Okay. All right. So now we're on to town administrator report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the board and the public and department heads. I did want to recap on a couple things that were mentioned tonight. I do want to give some kudos to our own. Obviously, Jeremy and Shelley for working on that bridge grant, but also to our state reps, Smola. He really came through for us down in Boston, and really to push it through the work that Jeremy and Shelley did. So thank you, Rep Smola, for always being there for us. Also on the legislative front, there is a bill in the legislature that would require a hybrid format starting April 1st, 2023. So that would require not only the Board of Selectmen meetings, but any boards. So for example, like the Board of Health or the Board of Assessors, any boards or commissions would be required to have a hybrid model and would require to have the technology to do that. And a lot of smaller communities across the Commonwealth are calling it a unfunded mandate that's being proposed.
We're already there. We're already doing it.
Right. I mean, for us,
Yeah.
you know, this technology would have to be made available as well, according to this bill, to those other boards. You know, there may be additional costs that towns such as Warren may want to get an additional system for like this. So, you know, I've contacted Rep Smola's aide to let him know that, you know, we're concerned about this. We may need some additional funding for this. You know, I think that there could be some costs down the road. And then also, if this does get implemented, then those boards would have to be responsible for going, you know, doing the same thing that the planning board and the Board of Selectmen do, which is a hybrid model. So there would have to be some learning tools involved to get our boards educated on how to do this and make sure that they're aware that they're in compliance. Because I would imagine that if this does get passed and they don't do this, then there would be into some type of non-compliance.
Yeah. Can I make a couple comments?
Sure.
So one of the problems is, like, the FinCom meeting tonight, right?
Right.
Both of those would have had to be available remotely. But then let's say the Board of Health was also meeting tonight. They would have to be available remote. So now how many rooms do we need to set up with owls or whatever kind of equipment? It gets kind of crazy. The other thing that concerns me too is all video sessions would be required to be live captioned during using automated speech recognition or other technology. I don't even know where that's gonna come from.
So we'd have
Zoom
to do
doesn't-
closed captioning and.
Yeah. Which
So
Do
there-
we
there-
have guidance on something that would do that? Because if maybe there's a meeting thing that we need to get on for as a town.
But it's hard enough to even hear
Well,
like.
Derek's our tech guy, so what do you know?
You can do that, but not live. Because once you upload it to a platform, you
Yeah.
just check the,
But they're saying do it live?
Live captioned.
it's almost impossible because it delays too much. What I've seen every day is when, you know, it's already done, it goes up and you post it somewhere, that's where the caps come up.
Yeah.
But live, it will be very difficult. I mean.
Yeah, they'd have to give us some guidance on who would do that.
So, I mean, if this made this into the bill, which, you know, it's on its very early stages, then, you know, towns would have to bear the burden to follow suit. So that's where there would be some costs involved to the town to make sure that their technology is available to do this.
Huge costs.
I mean,
It's hard enough
recently I found something similar, the knockoff of the old. It's a smaller camera, it's not for a big room like this, but you can sit down on a table and have 6 or 8 people around it and have the same thing for $200. So it's not that bad, you just need a computer to plug it in. Like if you had your computer, you plug that in, put the camera in the middle of the table, and that's it. It will do exactly the same thing.
Well, that's another thing we'd have to worry about, is not only do we have to get the cameras, but we also have to have the computers there available to be utilized, because we can't expect, say somebody from, I don't know, the sewer department to bring their own laptop in and have a meeting, okay? So that would have to be, I said everybody laugh.
Sewer department.
So that would have to be something we'd have to supply and make sure that they're trained on it to do. And that would be Jim's job.
Thank you.
So,
I think we could do very well without the captions.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, if they make us do the captioning, we'd have to look, because unless Zoom can do that, but instead of the $150 one we get, it's the $800 one,
Yeah.
you know, that's a big cost.
Like I said, if I take this video that we're live right now, if I download it at home tonight and I upload it to YouTube, for example, I can ask YouTube to make the captions, and then we'll be there with captions, but I haven't seen free or inexpensive technology to do that, so, you know, even, we can go with Google Chat, which is free, which is the same as Zoom, and we wouldn't have to pay for that, but, the captions is tricky.
Yeah. And you have to have really good audio. You can't have captions if the audio
Well,
is.
the problem
You
is gonna
probably
be
have to have
when,
really good internet too.
Yeah.
the problem is gonna be when two or more people start talking, it's just
Yes.
gonna,
Yeah.
not
it's
do
gonna
it.
Lose it, yeah.
The possibility to do it in an expensive way without the captions, I think we can handle that under $200. But captions, no.
Yeah.
No, I'll look into it, but I've never seen that.
Is Travis coming in here to let us know about captioning on something?
I actually figured I'd throw my 2 cents in.
Do you want to identify yourself, sir?
So I'm Travis Baker. I run WCAT 12.
Okay.
So there are some live captioning things. I've come across it while looking at some of the stuff from my upgrades. Some of them are expensive. Some of them are, it's like included in the software. Because one of the things I was looking at was tying our broadcast in to like be able to do like YouTube Live and Facebook Live all at the same time without having, you know, this computer logged into this and this one into this. It's an encoder. So you got one device that hooks into it. It broadcasts all of them. Some of these things do have live captioning built into the software. Might be like a 5 or 6 second delay for it to process, but it's pretty smooth from what I've seen.
Okay.
Can I-
Maybe by you doing your end, that meets our requirement for live caption, especially if you're streaming it Facebook or Zoom.
I think as long as we have one doing it, we're probably okay. So we could have Facebook, Zoom, and then like another one that does the captioning, would probably be okay.
So let me read, I just Googled this from Zoom. It says, "We are pleased to announce that auto-generated captions, also known as live transcriptions, are now available on all free Zoom meetings accounts.
Really?
This feature, which
There you go.
provides automatic caption during a Zoom video call, is also available for paid Zoom meetings and Zoom webinars account."
There we go.
Even better.
All right, I'll look at it and maybe we'll try it
Yeah.
next time. See if it works.
Yeah. See what words pop up that shouldn't pop up that we didn't say.
Right.
Well, they say it's got a closed caption. Doesn't have to say how accurate it has to be, does
Yeah.
it?
Well, they never are.
No.
Not with my accent.
And your mask.
The mask has nothing to do with it. They don't see my
We're gonna
next to read it.
put Derek in a little bubble over here in the corner so he can take his mask off and be safe and,
Yeah.
you know, close
Then it's gonna be
caption.
the bubble.
Closed caption it. But I know I know Jeff Blake was talking about how they were doing away from the boards being able to do virtual. where the boards actually had to meet in person from now on. What's that, as of the 15th, I thought he said.
Yeah,
Unless
that,
they renewed it,
I
That's,
thought they extended it.
did they extend it?
Yeah,
thought it was gonna end in December sometime.
yeah. Well, I think it was supposed to end July 15th.
Yeah,
Right.
they extended it to December 23rd, I think, maybe.
Something like
Did
that,
they?
yeah.
Yeah. You know, this proposed bill would also include a new civil penalty of up to $200 on an individual board members, including volunteers, for 3 or more violations, of these provisions or aspects of the open meeting law. So they would also add a civil, fine, to this particular piece of legislation. So, I mean, it's pretty involved, along with the unfunded mandates for the IT aspects of it, does have a lot of communities concerned. And the Mass Municipal Association has taken a pretty, stance about contacting the legislatures, in your districts to tell them, how you feel about this. So at some point, maybe the board may want to have a resolution or some type of action with regards to this.
Okay.
Yeah, that $200 fine, I mean, if we're having technical difficulties, it's not like we aren't trying to skirt the duties, but, we're having problems, so now
Right.
we're gonna get fined maybe $200. I mean, it's
Yeah, I
just-
think it's too much. I think we're doing it on our own
Yeah,
as a courtesy to reach out to more residents and get the
Mhm.
information out there. That's why we're doing it. 3
Three
different
ways.
means, 4 if you count them in person too. And, we're doing that extra to get the message out to everybody. And to have it mandated and say, well, if you don't do this, you're gonna get fined every time you don't do it,
So there would be a huge component of educational piece that would have to go in to, to educate all of the boards and commissions in this town.
Yeah.
So like, the historical commission, the sewer commission,
Mhm.
the cemetery commission, all these commissions,
Yeah.
that have public meetings that post, would be required to fall under this.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. That means everybody,
And they would all have to have access to this equipment.
either we'd have to sit there and say, hey, if you're gonna have a public meeting, you need to do it in this location to do that. Because for us to get equipment for every little area and then internet to them and do all that, it's just gonna be too cost burdensome. We have it here, maybe we could do a second location like FinCom or something like that in their office, so we could have 2 locations. But, all these other ones, they're gonna have to
Reserve the room.
reserve the room,
Yeah.
Yes, Joe?
Joe Conrad, resident. Recently, I was unfortunate enough to watch a 1-hour program on television that was closed captioned. And, when you can't turn it off, it's irritating because a lot of times what the actual actor is saying is not on the closed caption, it's something close but not the same.
delayed, yeah.
At least with YouTube, I can shut it off. It's just irritating.
Yeah. I don't know if they'd be able to shut it off or turn it on their end as far as closed caption. A lot of that stuff you can. You could either turn it on or turn it off on the user's end, the person watching it. So I don't know. The only thing we can do is try it next meeting, see how it goes,
Yeah.
and see if people are getting it, and maybe somebody can click on it and say, yeah, it's going through. And you guys are saying outrageous stuff, and not even close to what you're saying. But yeah,
So that was on the horizon for,
I'm gonna try to get into the meeting. I'm gonna look on the tools, if there's a closed caption thing like
Oh,
Joe was saying, that I can turn it on and off. So I'm gonna join you in a couple seconds.
Yeah. The only thing is I don't have it on, so it may not even be.
Well, it says it's a free service, so you don't have to have it on. It's me, the one who's looking at
Oh,
the
you
screen
think?
and listening. It's just like when you're watching TV,
Oh.
you're watching, they don't turn it on, right? The cable provider
Right.
doesn't turn on your closed captions, you turn it on and off. You go to YouTube,
Okay.
turn it on and off. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
search
yeah,
quickly
sure.
while we are here.
Okay.
So, yeah, definitely find out, see if, get ahead of it. If we have to ask for more money to mandate, if this is a mandated thing,
Yeah,
we're gonna
fund
need
it
more
then.
money to be able to fund it.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, I'll definitely, touch, again, circle back around with the reps aid to see how realistic this bill is gonna, fare. I don't know how much traction it has or what support it has, but, I'll definitely keep you in the loop on it. And at some point, the board may wanna consider a resolution either in favor or against it.
Yeah, definitely.
As part of my other part of the report, I did an analysis of all the line item transfers that were done for this fiscal year. I put them on like a spreadsheet, so kind of gauges the board as to how much financial transactions that had occurred this fiscal year as we close out the fiscal year.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yep. So these were all the line item transfers that came from various departments throughout from starting May, the request started to come in on May 12th, and all the way up until today, totaling roughly right under $200,000. So there was $199,000, $392.92 was the amount that was transferred. So it's my goal to try to get this number reduced as fiscal years go on, with better budgeting practices and with more opportunities to understand individual departments, the budgets, understand cost drivers, cost effectiveness. So it's my goal to get into the town into a position where there's less line item transfers. There's always gonna be line item transfers.
Yeah, stuff just comes up.
It just comes out.
Goes reduced.
But with better budgeting practices and with better monitoring, let's try to reduce it as best as we can.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of like a starting point to where we are. Let's see how good we can get it. I'm not sure as to what I can promise as of this moment, but we're gonna work towards reducing this.
Mhm.
Okay.
Good.
Very good. It's a lot of transfers. Yes, sir.
So my findings about the Zoom captions, yes, we do have it. You can turn it on and off, but I'm guessing you're gonna have to do some.
I have
on
to
your end.
enable it or something.
You have to enable it something, but yet Zoom users technically should be able to turn it on and off.
Are you able to enable?
I can't do any, I can edit this one.
I mean, we can do it later, but at least we know it's available.
Yeah, I'll have to look and see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are good on that.
Also, as the Personnel Policy Bylaw Board, the Board of Selectmen, we have a new hire that is coming on board for the sewer department. And that person has asked if they could be enrolled into the health insurance program right from the beginning. And that usually, I think there's a waiting period of 30 days But that can be waived by the Personnel Policy Board. Hoping that, you know, that could be done. To do that, that person would also, you know, make their contributions, you know, as well.
Okay. I don't have a problem with it. Health insurance.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. What would be the reason for the 30-day waiting period?
That's, I guess that's what Dawn has established, or that's what is established by the town's personnel policy bylaw. So she would need some type of okay from the personnel board, policy board to start it right away.
Okay.
I'm good.
Good. Yeah.
Motion?
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion to waive the 30-day waiting period for the sewer department chief operator on health insurance. Not health insurance, yeah, health insurance,
Yeah, the 30-day waiting period.
yeah.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And then finally, Mr. Chairman, I don't know if, I don't know if there was any correspondence that you wanted, were you prepared to talk about the bank through correspondence, or did
No.
you? No, okay, all right.
You can.
Oh, yeah, okay. Mr. Chairman, I did receive a call this week from Mr. Tallman and from Cornerstone Bank. He met with his board of directors this week. The board is not interested in donating that property, the building. However, the board has authorized him to donate 10% of the sale price to the town, if the town wants to accept the donation, unrestricted,
And a minimum of $25K.
minimum of 25,000. Right.
The bill, you know, the Commission of Banks approved the closing of the bank. So at that point, we really can't do much more than we've done. We've tried, we've kept it open as long as we could. We fought the battle, but ultimately, we lost. And this is one of those things where they just couldn't justify forcing a bank to stay open within our community. It's a business. And, you know, in a situation like this, you know, we also tried to get them to donate the building for town purpose. And, you know, apparently that's not gonna happen either. But again, we tried. And as a gesture, they're offering us 10% of the, you know, selling price of the building. So if they sell the building for $350,000, we get 10% of that donated to the town, unrestricted to use as we want. And they have a minimum $25,000 cap. So if it sells more, we could end up getting $40,000 or whatever from the bank as a donation to the town. You know, they've done a lot for us, and you know, over the years, and you know, it's sad to lose them. And I think this is a nice gesture. You know, I would have loved to keep the bank open, but it's not happening. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's disappointing.
It is.
I'd like to see another bank come in maybe, you know.
And they're not putting any restrictions on the deed. They guaranteed us that if another bank wanted to move in there, another bank could buy the building and move in there. you know, and it was put out to us that if we can encourage another bank, maybe they'd be willing to buy it, you know. I know North Brookfield Savings, they're pretty common in the area. North Brookfield Savings is a big bank, and they're very they're very much community oriented. I know they do a lot in West Brookfield, and there's a few other places where, you know, maybe they'd be interested in buying that building. Maybe we could reach out to them and say, hey, this building's going up for sale, it'd be a good location for you, and kind of sell it to them, and maybe they'd be interested in buying the bank.
It's a turnkey, right?
It's-
I mean, you
it's a
buy it,
turnkey
you-
business.
You go in there, you spruce it up a little, paint the walls, and
Put North Brookfield Savings on it, and
you're ready to
you
go.
get a new location.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if they'd be interested in doing that, but it'd be nice if they stepped in. But right now, Cornerstone Bank is not gonna stay there, and they've already made the decision, and I believe they told us the bank would be closing on
Friday.
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. So tomorrow's the last day for the bank to be open. After that, there was a shut, and the building's being sold. So, you know, I don't know how you feel about getting the donation from, you good with it?
I think we should, I mean, it's okay, it's like we're getting grants and working for all that. I don't feel like, you know, saying yes to something like that, rather than, you know, making sure that this money will really help something in town. I know it will, but it's a weird situation,
It is, it's bittersweet.
you know.
You know, it's nice to have the money, but I would've liked to have the bank instead.
Yeah.
And if I could exchange it, I'd say keep your money and keep the bank open.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
But that decision has been made, and they're closing the bank,
Mhm.
so.
I think, in terms of the donation, I would like to see it just earmarked for something, as opposed to just going into the general fund and being in there for any use. I would say maybe,
I mean, you don't have to determine the use right now. and,
yeah,
you
but
know.
I just think, put it towards a use. Public safety complex, or fixing something, you know, as opposed to just throwing it in the account and saying, okay, well, there's 25.
I could tell you right now, it'd be great to see it to go to Veterans Council.
Okay, yeah, I mean, so I just, you
No, I was
know.
thinking of the common, making the parking, or
common.
doing something on the common.
Mhm.
Maybe fix up the monument
Yeah,
in
the
the
fountain.
common,
Yeah,
fix that fountain. And, you know, have, because I know Veterans Council came in here about the, was it the $8,000
$8,000.
Reached across America, yeah.
for Wreaths Across America. And this would be a good portion. Maybe you could reach out to, on top of the 10,000, maybe they'll give us 8,000 to the
No,
Veterans
it's
Council.
10%, sir, 20.
Well, yeah, instead of 10%, say, hey, would you be interested in also doing a charitable contribution to the Veterans Council in the amount of 10,000?
I can ask.
mhm.
Could always ask. So, because I knew he did offer that he'd like to do some donations and maintain community presence. Is a donation that we can use right there. Veterans need it.
Yeah,
And then,
and then if we have an earmark for that money, we could announce that at the same time, you know, say, you know, we're getting the money for veterans, we're getting this money to do the fountain, or, you know, upgrades in the common, whatever. Which I think is appealing to them, right?
yeah. I think they would like to have some positive media discussions about it, so, versus negative,
Yeah,
which right now,
we're all feeling a little
we're
negative.
all feeling a little negative in this town. So,
Mr.
Chief?
I just wanted to throw one more idea out there to the board, because it came up in one of the recent surveys we did to Joyce with, looking at recreation stuff. I've heard a lot of people would love to see Cutter Park for the kids. There's really nothing, that playground is old, it's antiquated, the field is antiquated, they don't even do the baseball there anymore. Like, there's nothing in Warren for them for that, they have to go to West Warren, so, just another idea, that would be that spruce up that area would be fantastic. I mean, I know there's a lot of kids that live in that area, and I think that swings are antiquated and rusted and everything, that might be another good
That's a
idea.
wonderful suggestion, Chief.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the
Yes.
downtown's great, but, it's a great idea for I see kids there all the time, every day,
Yeah.
and it's just such an old park.
Yes.
It's
I
not
know
just-
Sue Ramsey has brought that up, and we've asked parks to come to us with what they would like to see for upgrades within the parks. I know even Dean Park, the old park benches, whoever's been doing it, but people have been carving away at them, and somebody was trying to burn through with a lighter on one of them, and, they're kind of beat, and the wood's kind of misshapen. They do have really nice equipment over there, but it'd be nice if we can get some other stuff.
It's
Time.
8:00.
Yeah.
Do we not?
Travis, are we supposed to be taking a break?
Really?
He's
Okay, then I'm
Oh,
running out of juice, so I'm gonna go to my car and get the cable. I'll be right back.
okay. Oh, do you need?
iPhone?
Yep. A
Save
bag
trip.
of tricks.
He's gotta carry that.
Cable,
Smart man.
charger. Need anything else?
Just the charger and the
Tuna fish sandwich?
AC?
AC, oh yeah.
I think we're gonna have to have
It may not be
a
long
heat
enough.
station stationed up in Jim's office. Have a meeting drop.
I got this too. Pass that.
Wow. You get a Keurig in there and stuff too?
I'm out of coffee, Jack's on the side.
Alright,
It's next to the microwave.
so, yeah, no, if we could look at all that stuff, maybe, reach out, I would reach out and ask if they wanna do
Okay.
it
For the veterans?
for the veterans.
Yeah.
See if we can get a $10,000 donation for them, direct donation to them.
Mm-hmm.
And, as far as the 10%, they honestly don't have to do anything. And they're reaching out to us saying, hey, we'd like to give you 10% of the sale cost of this building.
And
Now, the building,
Mr. Chairman, I only think that they're doing that because of your guys' hard work with really working
It's
on,
the town.
working that issue.
so, I think having at least that would be good for being able to take care of some other stuff, with our parks and stuff that we can do. If we can get $25,000 or 40 or whatever it sells for. And that sale could go on, it might not sell for another year, or it might sell
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, but if we can get that from in writing, that they would do that, I'd be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
You good?
Yeah. And can you check around with some other banks?
Sure.
And see?
Sure.
North
I
Brookfield?
know Westfield Bank has
Westfield?
expressed some interest, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, see if somebody else, I know North Brookfield has got several locations within the area, but maybe they might wanna jump into Warren too.
It's a
Never
nice
know.
building.
Yeah. let them know, Warren's an upcoming town. We're gonna,
Right, I mean, that's the thing, things are happening.
there's
It
things
will be
happening. Our town is coming together. We have a great fire department, great police department, awesome highway department. You know, people are looking at us for bringing businesses into town.
Mhm.
We just gotta keep it bang. All right. So we're good with that. Anything else?
And I don't know if Jerry had mentioned this in his report, but Chief Millette and myself sat down with candidates to fill, starting the interview process to hire 2 new police officers. 2 candidates will emerge from the interview process and will be brought ultimately before the Board of Selectmen for your consideration. That process started today. We had 2 very good candidates to review. Tomorrow we have 1.
Yep.
And then we have 1 maybe over the weekend, or?
Right.
Okay, 1 over the weekend. So our goal is to have 2 very good candidates brought before this board for consideration.
Already academy trained?
One already academy trained, the one that we have to do on the weekend is in the academy right now.
Okay. Cool. All right. It's great. Great to have potential new police officers coming in. One is to fill one that we're losing, and one is to add another position, because we're always down a position, and this will bring us up to full staff, correct?
Correct.
And these are budgeted.
And that's gonna be a first time in a long time that we've been full staff.
Knock on wood.
These are budgeted positions that are already
Yep.
incorporated in the budget, so.
Wow, very good. Fully staffed police station. That's gonna be good. All right, anything else, sir?
Not at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. So, did you have any questions for him?
No, I don't.
Any questions?
No, sir. Oh, I have a comment, but I don't know if we have comments yet.
No, but questions for
No.
Jim? Okay. All right, so comments and concerns. Do we have any comments and concerns?
I do. I was gonna talk about MVP yesterday, or were you gonna talk about that? You
No.
have a comment. Okay, all right. So I'll say that yesterday was the MVP tour that was organized by CMRPC, Chris Dunphy and Mary Hannah. And it was led by Jeremy and Chris Dunphy, so we went to 5 different sites. So the MVP tour was organized to show people some of the problem areas in town, mainly due to culverts is really the issue. So unfortunately, we didn't get enough people for the afternoon or the evening tour, so that was canceled. But we did have, I don't know, how many people, 10, maybe a dozen?
Yeah, there was a dozen, yeah.
For the 10 a.m. So it was the senior van plus Chris Dunphy's van.
Okay.
And we had Paula, and I can't think of her last name, from Ware River News.
Omelet?
Yeah,
Omelet?
yeah.
She's super nice.
Yeah. So we went to 5 different sites, anywhere from a site on Brook Road all the way up to Coy Hill, just to basically look at the different spots in town that are having problems, mainly because of climate change. Last night, at my house, I got 1.5 inches of rain. So, and we're in a drought, right?
Yeah.
So we don't get like a nice 4 or 5 rainy days where it just kind of soaks in. We just get pummeled with rain. So this is the problem right now. And the MVP program is Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness. So once we go through this program, we're going to be able to get things called action grants, where we'll be able to actually address some of these issues, like these culverts. There is a beaver dam on Old West Brookfield Road that is absolutely amazing. It is like 30 feet wide.
It's coming up now.
Oh, that's right, because you dropped out.
Mhm.
It is 30 feet wide. I don't know how deep it is, about 20 feet, off the road. And then Jeremy says that it goes down at an angle into the water another 40 feet. I mean, it's quite a dam. And that's blocking the culvert.
Mhm.
So if that dam breaks or we have a heavy rainfall, that culvert gets inundated and it ends up flooding the road. So
Yeah, it's
this
gonna
is-
wipe out that road.
It'll wipe out which
It's
road?
already pretty much
Yeah.
wiped it out at some points
It-
too.
You can see the patch
Yeah.
where, there was like half the road was there.
Jeremy patched it together pretty good, but, yeah, I remember that because I see the water cresting over the road and it was starting to disappear and I'm like,
Mhm.
this ain't good.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
that
and-
will probably be our first action grant, I think, is, once we're done with this process, so. Just like to thank everybody who went on the tour, and it was really a good, very eye-opening, informational kind of event, so.
Very good.
And Derek did photography for it, so he'll be putting together a video, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
Okay, you had something, sir?
I think he had a question is it regarding to that?
It's related.
Okay. Joe, you wanna?
Well, if you recall, I gave you some old photographs of the 1955 flood,
Yep.
and I tried to mark all the spots where they are today by street and location.
Yeah. We still have issues with a lot of those locations. And right now, a lot of it's because of the beavers. The beavers,
Beavers have always been out there.
they
Always.
have,
Even when I was a teenager.
but I think back in the day, they were more readily hunted
Yeah,
to keep down the population. And there was a lot more population control being done. And we weren't as heavily built around them then as we are now. So it's becoming more and more of a serious problem. And it's becoming harder and harder to get rid of these beavers because there's so many requirements on being able to get rid of them, and it's costly.
Yeah.
And some of these beavers are on state conservation land, which the state finally gave us approval. It said, yes, you can trap these beavers, but they must be used for a purpose. You can't just kill them because it's a nuisance animal if they're trapped for the fur or the meat or purpose. They can trap the animal, which trapping them during the summer kind of defeats that because typically you want to trap during the winter, and the ice and the cold preserve the meat and the fur because you can't go out there every few hours and check your trap. You put your trap, you leave it, you wait a few days, you come back and check it, see if it was sprung. In the summer, you get predators that are going to get to that beaver, between raccoons, possums, coyotes. Not just that, the meat's going to spoil pretty quickly, and you're going to have insects infesting that animal. So you really can't do it during the summer. And it's difficult for the trapping season. And I think there was also different types of traps are being required because there was a different type of trap that was very effective. And I was talking to somebody that was doing trapping, and the new traps that they require them to have now, a little more difficult to trap with. So there's restrictions that are very hard to do it now. And you can't just have somebody go out there and shoot the beaver. So it's all done by trapping.
well, even when I was a teenager, there were two places on the old West Brookfield Road and one place on Old Douglas Road that all had beaver dams.
So Jeremy estimated the one on Old West Brookfield Road probably has around 15 beavers on it. So, I mean, say you trap 5 or 6, You
I-
still.
By the time they have babies and the.
Yeah.
I believe he said they retrieved 15, but
Oh.
they still about 30 more.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's what I remember on the video.
Wow, okay.
So-
And that, I guess it's a pond now, he said used to be a field,
Yeah,
right? So it's now flooded, and it's because of the beavers.
yeah. And that was, I think that was Blackwell's property? Well, Blackwell's property
Yeah. I don't know.
attaches on the other side,
Yeah.
so, but yeah. Yeah, that dam's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
It is
Every
a
time I
sight.
see it on,
It's impressive.
and now it's actually, the logs are moving straight up around the road and the culvert. So it looks like they're really preparing to build it up even more
Hmm.
over that. And they gotta dam back a lot of water, and that's above the water line,
Yeah.
so. Gotta do something with these beavers.
Well, and if you try and, what Jeremy was saying is you have to be careful. Not only can you break the dam, but every piece that you take off, when it creates water, a noise of water rushing, the beavers will repair it.
Yeah,
So what he has to do is more like dig out the bottom to keep the culvert clean and accessible. But he tries not to really touch the dam too much, because it just, it's a fight, it's a
Yeah.
battle, and they're always gonna win, because they're constantly rebuilding, so.
Well, we all know what happens every time the one at
Yes.
Colonel's Mountain lets go,
Yep.
yeah.
about once a year.
Yeah, yeah. Really tired of beavers. I used to love the little things. Now,
Lunch?
it just, as much as they're built, and I gotta admire them, they have a great work ethic, but it doesn't work out well in a community
No,
because they destroy everything around them by flooding areas. So, all right. So, anything
My
else?
turn?
Yes, sir.
So a few weeks ago, we had a tragic accident and 3 kids lost their lives. It happens to be that I know the Douglas family, and this guy, Joshua Richards, made some stickers to fund the family. So he's selling the stickers in town right here on Main Street, so if anybody wants to, butt in, it's $3 a piece.
where are they available?
They're available, yeah.
No, where?
In Main Street. We will have to contact him, Joshua Richards on Facebook,
Oh.
and he will give you the address.
Oh, okay,
But it's right here.
okay.
So just go there, get your stickers to help the family.
Very good. Thank you for mentioning that.
Big loss for the town.
Yeah. Anytime we lose kids in our community and being so young and having accidents like that, it's tragic for the families. It's tragic for everybody that knows them, the schools. It's devastating. I know it's devastating for our first responders that have to respond to those accidents and deal with this because, our town is a small town. Everybody knows everybody. And some of these kids used to play with them and everybody knows each other. And it really impacts. We good? All the sirens?
Police issue right now that just, it's good so far.
Okay. So, it's very impactful to everybody, and along with the teachers that taught these kids, it affects everybody. So these things are always a tragedy, and it's senseless. And I don't know how we could prevent it to stop. If anybody has ideas on how things like this could be prevented or what we can do better to prevent them so it doesn't happen anymore. Definitely open to ideas, but our hearts go out to the parents and all the loved ones and everybody involved in another tragedy within our community, so.
Well, let's face it, we all have children, and we know how it would affect us.
Absolutely. I'd be devastated if it was my kids. I wouldn't, there's no words. And I know Adam knows it more personal than any of us in here right now, having gone through it and,
Wouldn't wish it on another human being.
you know. And it just, nothing we can say can fix it, you know. But if we can do something to stop it from happening to another kid, you know, whether it's issuing out traffic violations and stopping them and saying, hey, knucklehead, slow down, or hey, stop at the stop sign, or, you know, stopping drunk drivers, you know, oh, I don't think I'm that impaired, but yet he was, you know, a driver was going in and out of lanes. You know, yeah, it upsets that person that you stop, but that could have been a life down the road that police officer just saved by stopping that driver from continuing like that. And that's why we have these laws and we do this enforcement, and that's why we see, what, 71 citations written? How much? How many?
71.
71 citations written and a couple hundred traffic stops. That's not to be a jerk, and that's not because the police want to sit there and say, yeah, we have nothing better to do, donut shop's closed, so we're gonna pull people over for the rest of the time. No, it's because it's public safety, and it's to prevent things like this from happening by stopping whoever driving unsafe, and letting them know. And I think you guys are really generous, because you give a lot of verbal warnings. You know, it's more of an educational tool saying, hey, I don't know if you realized it, but the speed limit is 35. You were doing 65. Slow down. You know? So.
Well, it's crazy just if you drive around and you see people on the opposite direction with their phone driving.
Yeah,
It's
that-
scary.
I hate that. I hate that. I seen a guy, I'm driving, and a guy on the Mass Pike had his tablet up there, and he's having a meeting, and he's talking with the people as he's driving, and full tablet on the dash. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I got away from him because,
Yeah.
again, I'm on my private vehicle away, and I'm like, that's just crazy.
I can one up that. I get passed by a guy in a Pike that was reading a newspaper.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
Gives you heart failure.
Yeah, people do crazy things, and that's how people get killed in bad accidents and stuff like that. And I think we've tried to prevent somewhat by putting up all the signs, the speed signs within the communities.
Yep.
I know I try to slow down, and the one on Southbridge Road gets me all the time by your house, and I'm driving, I'm like, oh, slow down. Because it goes, you're going from what, 35 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour down to 25. And it just happens, boom. And, you know, gotta slow down and take it easy past there. But it's 25 mile an hour zone, and that sign reminds people. It reminds me. And
Slows
we,
them down going down the hill.
yeah, and there's a few of them around, and we have, what, 5 of them now? Are all 5 out there right now?
The portable one's in right now getting charged.
Okay. So we got at least 4 of them out there, right? So we got 4 of these things out there telling people to slow down in our community. You know, take it easy. Small town.
Chief, I think a good one would be where you go from 50 to 35 on 67.
Yes.
That's, if you want to stop Jim, that's where you can catch him.
Well, I saw a car carrier come through the center of town, probably going 40.
Yeah.
And then you get all the ones that going down 67, trying to beat the light in downtown West Warren.
But again, these guys can only be so many places at a time. You know, they try to do their best, and they are aggressively stopping people and, you know,
Those
doing their
grants help
job.
us out a lot.
Huh?
Those grants help us out a lot.
Mm.
You heard the sirens just now. They're gonna be tied up probably on this for a while. That means
That's the thing. When you only got 2 guys on in the town, and you just have a domestic,
it's ours.
it's always, so, yeah. You know, hopefully a trooper is driving through and catches whoever decides to speed during that time. And I can guarantee if a trooper catches you, you're probably not getting a verbal
No.
warning. They're not known for that. So, yeah. Any other comments, concerns? Guys, do you have any? No? I have nothing.
Yeah, nothing on.
Joe?
No.
Nobody in Zoom land?
Nope.
No? All right. So, correspondence. We got a, Governor Baker sent a hurricane preparedness week
I have to say, I
for
think it's-
immediate release. And it is, proclaims July 10th through the 16th as Hurricane Preparedness Week. Well, today's the 14th.
Yes.
And I just got it.
And you
That's
just
why I thought
got
it was
it?
really funny.
The governor's office is a little slow on this.
Oh, it's for immediate release July 11th. It was
Yeah.
even released one day after the start.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's a typo there.
So, yep, they, just want everybody to be ready, and, all week, the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, MEMA, will engage in local communities across Massachusetts to highlight the risk of tropical storms and hurricanes and encourage residents to take steps to prepare as part of MEMA's commitment to diversity and equality in emergency planning. This year's campaign will include information to equip those living with disabilities and specific medical needs. Okay, so again, once we get into hurricane season, you want to make sure that you have all your stuff. Keep extra bottles of water in house, just in case if you lose your water. You should have a couple cases of water there. Extra batteries, flashlights, emergency radio that runs off of batteries, so you can receive emergency stations or updates or anything that's going on. Because if you're without power, you're gonna need to have that. I know I have an emergency radio where you can wind up and it charges up and it will run for, you know, hour or so before you wind it up again. And it works pretty good and you don't have to rely so much on batteries. Get LED lights because they're gonna last a lot longer and they're pretty cheap right now. So have that kind of stuff. Extra food, non-perishable food that you don't have to rely on your refrigerator, because if you lose your refrigerator, as far as like losing electricity, you're gonna want dry goods and stuff in there, maybe pastas and things like that, and canned goods, or boxes of stuff. Even dry cereal. You have dry cereal and maybe, like, was it Parliament milk? The
Yeah.
milk that is in a box and you don't need to refrigerate it. No refrigeration required. And you could use that for milk for the kids. So there's a lot of things you can do, and I'm sure, you know, the governor has a long list of things that they can reach out on, things you can get. And I'm sure if you Google hurricane preparedness, they'll have an abundance of things and, you know, lists of things that you should have. One of the good things is you can get those prepared boxes, emergency boxes, and it comes in like 30-day supplies per person. And it has all kinds of dry goods and all kinds of stuff in there, and it has like 30 days worth of food for one person. You can get one of those for each of your family, and I think they're like $50 or something like that, $45 for 30-day supply of food per person. Is it more than that?
I didn't think it was 30 days, I thought it was a week. but for that price, but I might be wrong.
Okay. But you could research it online, there's plenty of stuff out there, prepare. And remember, and I know Tammy's gonna want me to mention this, make sure you have enough dog food or cat food on hand to feed your animals, because if you get trapped in or you can't get out there and get dog food or cat food, make sure you have a supply stashed to the side just in case of an emergency, so you can feed your cats or dogs for at least a week. So, am I missing anything, Chief?
Make sure your prescriptions are filled, and be very careful with generators. Generator safety is a huge one.
And storing gas. If you're gonna be storing gas, remember it does expire, so you gotta cycle out your gas. So if you have gas cans in your shed that are probably a couple years old, the odds are that gas is probably no good anymore. You might wanna cycle it out, and please don't dump the gas into the dirt, or just dispose of it properly.
Do the hazardous waste.
Hazardous
What
waste
do you say?
pickup day, you can get on that to get rid of that old gas. Or maybe if you got a junky lawnmower that you don't really care too much about, you might be able to get it to feed through that and use it up. But keep a good fresh supply of gas, and definitely water is a must. You can live, you can live 3 days without water, but 3 weeks without food, and they say, 3 hours without shelter? You know, something like that. But you definitely need water. That in your priorities of life, water is on the top. So make sure you have that. And I guess if you store enough beer,
That's the most important.
to be able to tolerate, being shut in for a week.
With your children.
Yeah, well, make sure they have juice boxes too.
I'll mention the hazardous waste day is Wednesday, January 27th, and you can get more
January.
information.
January.
Did I say July 27th?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're pushing out quite a bit.
Planning ahead.
So
And it's
July
on-
27th?
Yeah, on the website, you have to fill out a form and just tell them. I believe they come and pick it up from your house.
From your house, leave it
So-
on your porch,
You just tell them what you want picked
Yeah.
up, and they'll come and get it.
make sure they can see the label of it.
Okay. Very good.
Really good.
I will have to jump on that because I got a bunch of stuff. I found a bunch of paint and things like that that I need to get rid of.
We need to jump on it for here.
Quick question. I did have something for you guys. Swift 911. I got a thing from Mike Moriarty from Dispatch saying we're not using Swift 911 no more. It's a new system.
Yeah, it's a new system, but they told us that they were converting everybody over, correct? That
That's what they said.
they told us that anybody that was previously signed up for Swift, they would be automatically put into the new system.
Because he asked me to take down the Swift 911 information and put up the new information on the website.
Okay.
So I wanted to clear that with you guys and make sure we're doing that, because I know you guys were on the Swift 911 stuff.
Yes, they converted everything over. They were talking about converting everything over. I didn't know if they had made that switch yet or not. I have to follow up with them.
Yeah, if you follow up
Yeah.
before we
You
change
can change
our
it because the other one's
website.
not, the Swift is gone.
Swift is gone?
It's supposed to be Rave.
Yeah, it's Rave or something like that now.
Yep.
So, did you have information on that?
So if somebody was to sign up on the website right now for
It doesn't
Reverse
work.
911,
The Swift?
it would
No,
not
I
work?
don't even- the link doesn't work, right?
No,
That's what
the link does not work.
Oh.
I tried it.
Okay, so we'll change that. But yeah, if you can follow up with them and see what we're supposed to be doing with that now.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Joe?
One thing I saw on TV the other day, for people who are suicidal or emotionally have a problem, the new phone number is 988.
Okay. I haven't heard that, but, okay. All right. Do you guys have anything else? That was the only thing for correspondence. Did you guys get any correspondence or anything?
Nope. No, I didn't.
No, sir. Good. Good. All right. So next meeting is July 28th, 2022 at 6 PM.
Jim's office?
Jim's ice box.
Jim's Icebox.
So, yep, we're for June 28th. There is no meeting on the 21st.
Correct.
We are not having a meeting on the 21st. So, and I'm just putting this in my thing, and then you're up.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. We are adjourned.